Hello everyone, I hope these lessons are helping out. We're on page 3 of the midterm exam review, finding percent of a number. One really important thing to remember is whenever you see that word of, in this situation means multiply. And we can't say with 100% certainty, but most of the time, if you don't know what else to do, of is a good indication of multiplication. The kids, I tell them to drop the percent sign and move the decimal twice. I talk about the old days when we used to say peace, baby, and put up 2 fingers because we move it over twice. Has nothing to do with math, just a good way to remember. So this problem, we move the decimal over, becomes 0.15 times 50. You do your multiplication to get your answer. They can take it on the side on a sheet of loose leaf, do your multiplication, and when we multiply, we count how many places behind the decimal. Don't count the numbers to the decimal. Say, ask yourself, how many places behind the decimal? 2, then 2's in your answer. 7.5. 0. You can put the 0, or if a 0 is at the end, you can always drop it off. 7.5, they're both equal. 25% of 48, you change of to multiply. Again, you drop the percent, move the decimal twice. So it becomes 2.25 times 48. And you can multiply. And again, how many places behind the decimal? 2. 2 behind the decimal in your answer. So your answer is 12.00 or just 12. There's another way of working that problem. 25%, they should know by now, 1/4 is 25%. So what is 1/4 of 48? If we divided 48 into 4 parts, 12 would be one of the 4 parts. 100% without even doing the math says it's the whole thing. So when we talk about the whole, 100% of 90 means 90. If you eat 100% of the pizza, you ate the whole thing. 80%, again, you change of, drop the percent sign, your problem becomes 0.80 times 140. You do your math. Ask yourself how many places behind the decimal? 2, and your answer is 112. 50% of 90, again, you change of to multiply, drop the percent, move twice. 0.50 times 90, or 50% is half. What is half of 90? The answer is 45. Okay. These we have practiced over and over. They should be able to do it without the math, but you can always divide the numerator, the top number, the fraction by the bottom number, and the fraction, get a decimal, and change to percent. But this should just be memorized. A half is 50, 1/4 is 25%, 75% is 3/4. They should know this by heart. 100%, 1/2, 33 1/3 is 1/3. If you add 33 1/3 3 times, you get 100, and that's always the goal. The magic number in percent is 100. And as we just did, to change a number from a percent to a decimal, drop the percent sign and move the decimal piece, baby, 2 places to the left. To find 25% of 80, replace the word of, and we just said, with a multiplication sign. With percent, what number represents all or whole? If you ate the whole pizza, you ate 100% of the pizza. An equation, look at the word here, equal, has an equal sign. An expression does not have an equal sign. All right, moving on down. This is just another form of what we've just done. The store is 55 magazines, 40% of, drop the percent, move it twice. So you do 55 times 0.40. If you want to do the math, out on the side, $22. 22 magazines would be 40%. Lucy bought a mixed buttons. They had 36 buttons. 75% of the buttons were large. How many were large buttons? So you do 75% of, drop the percent, move it twice, 0.75 times 36. $27 large buttons. You also could think of it as 75% as 3/4. So 3/4 times 36, and 3/4 of 36, 3/4 times 36, reduced by 4, 9 times 3, same 27. Sam's Cafe offers 2 kinds of burgers, a single burgers and double burgers. Yesterday afternoon, 60 burgers or so. 75% of the burgers were double burgers. So you do 0.75 times 60, 45, 2 places behind the decimal, 45 burgers. Okay, moving on down. Again, there's a couple of ways of working these problems. One thing you have to know is when you cross multiply, I always tell the kids put your hands across your chest because say, show me the love. Because when you multiply this way and this way, you should always get the same answer. Also, this top number in a fraction is the part, and the bottom number is the whole. 50 out of 100 is 50%, which is 1/2. What's half of 48? 24. Go to the next one. We have 35. We're looking for 40% of 35. You can do the same thing you did before. Or 2/5 of the whole 35. Or you can drop a 0, brother, sister rule. Whatever you do to one, you do to the other. Hey, I can reduce by 2. I can reduce by 2. Now it's easy to multiply. I get 70, and I divide by 5. And my answer is 14. 26 over 100 equals some number over 50. Another way you can do this is say, how did I get to 50 times 2? How did I get from 50 to 100 times 2? Well, what number times 2 would get me to 26? 13. And if I were to cross multiply, they would be equal. In this case, you might see something like this. Hey, drop a 0, drop a 0. 20 divided by 10 is 2. Or multiply 200, divide by 100, 2. When you multiply fractions, you have to remember to multiply numerator times numerator, denominator times denominator. But I believe in making life as simple as possible. So if you can reduce before, as long as you reduce one numerator with one denominator, it's okay. Divide by 3. Divide by 3. Now I have 7 over 24. I just made my problem a lot easier. Is there a number that has a common factor? There's 5. 5 divided by 5 is 1. 5 divided by 5 is 1. 2 times 1 is 2 over 7. Always the numerator times the denominator. Suppose I forget to reduce first. I would still get 3 over 15. I have a common factor. Divide by 3. Divide by 3. My answer is 1/5. Again, these are common factors. Divide by 3. Divide by 3. As long as whatever I do to one, I do the other. I have 2 even numbers. 2 is always a factor of 2 even numbers. Divide by 2. Divide by, oh, my mistake. 2 divided by 2 is 1. And 4 divided by 2 is 2. 1 times 1 is 1 over 2. Circle your final answer. And that's page 3. One more page to go, and you should be ready for your final. Well, not final, your midterm. Okay, thank you.